Welcome back to The Adulterous Whore. I'm your host, Stacey Wright. Now, I thought we'd do something a little different today. So for season 2, episode 18, I'm going to introduce you to Book Sirens. Now, Book Sirens is a really great way to dip your toe into the reviewer influencing world of books. But before we dive into what Book Sirens is and how you use it and what I love about it, let's talk about what I've been reading this week. Now, as you may or may not know, I am on the Toppling TBR with Hannah, and we have been doing our bookish deep dives on Throne of Glass. So we literally did Assassin's Blade on Saturday. You can catch the episode on YouTube or Spotify at the Toppling TBR. But we've been reading Heir of Fire. Now, I don't know if you've read the series, but we did the first 2 books, then Assassin's Blade, and then we moved on to Heir of Fire. And this is where everything suddenly starts to pick up. And I'm having trouble sticking to the chapters that we assigned, because what me and Hannah do is that we read it in sections. We write our notes and our thoughts so that we can talk about it. Well, I'm having trouble like stopping, having absolute trouble stopping. So if you haven't been joining us for that, you really should be. So these are the books I haven't yet started, but this is on my planned list for my reading week. The Shattered King by Charlie N. Holmberg. Now, this book was sent to me by a independent PR person, so I don't know much about them for what they do as a business, and I'd never heard of this author before, but the book looks absolutely phenomenal, so I'm really excited to start that one. I have On the Edge of Arthur by Britt Wolfe. Now, she, believe it or not, is actually a Calgary-based author, and she was running a competition. Now, I joined the competition. She had so many people that wanted to join the giveaway, but she noticed that I had a pretty big platform. So she sent me a copy of the book anyway. Actually, I think her husband may have dropped it off. And it was signed. So I'm really excited to start that one too. The Fruit Tree by Sabir Ahmed. And that one's an indie publish. So I don't know much about the book yet, but I'm really excited to start it. Like I said, I'm trying to do more independent authors. And this book actually looked really good. The next one is Calisandra Fracture by Stephanie Douglas. And again, this one was sent to me by an independent author. So I've had quite the week of people sending me their self-published books. So I'm blown away. And then the last book I'm going to be reading this week is Don't Watch Alone by Alyssa D. Daniels. And she is the reason that I'm doing this episode today. So she is actually one of the authors on Book Sirens, and she sent me a message. Look, I get a lot of messages, okay? I probably get anywhere from 10 to 30 emails a day from authors on Book Sirens who have found my profile and send me emails. Well, she did something a little different. She actually messaged me on Facebook, and I was curious. So I started chatting with her. We were talking, and I applied for her book, and I got it. See? It sent straight to my Kindle. It made me wonder more about why I haven't been using Book Sirens, because the only times I'd used it before is when I was part of an ARC street team and the books were sent this way. So this is one of the reasons why I decided to do today's episode, because Book Sirens is really great for newbies that want to start out, because NetGalley, and I'm going to explain the differences between Book Sirens and NetGalley, but NetGalley, it's not that it's complicated. I think it's a little harder to get going on. We're getting back to where we were. Audiobooks. So I get a lot more audiobook reading done. So these are the audiobooks that I'm going to be listening to the rest of this week. The Undercutting Rosie and Adam by Megan Bannon. Falling for You Again by Kerry Lonsdale. The 13 Power Moves to Dark Psychology by Lena Sisko. I'm fairly certain that one's a non-fiction. It really sung to my soul when I saw it listed on NetGalley, and I'm like, yes, you're coming with me. Every Mother's Nightmare by S.E. Lines. Only Lovers in the Building by Nadine Gonzalez. Her Many Faces by Nikki Cloak. Now, I have somewhere in the region of about 80 audiobooks to get through between now and the end of August, which is going to be really tight. But I'm going to give it a solid go, as long as I stop downloading books from the bloody library, because I'm a nightmare for that too. So that's what I'm planning on reading this week. What did I read last week? So I did the book Tiny Daggers by Caroline Corcoran, and I gave it 4 stars. It was an interesting book, and I actually learned that mosquitoes are the deadliest creature on the planet. And I didn't know that And when the book said that, I Googled it. It's true. Just so you know, it's true. And then I read My Ex the Antichrist by Craig DeLuey. And that one was like Daisy Jones horror. It's the only way I can really describe it. Like the band, like they're being interviewed, but it's like horror based. And I gave it 4 stars. It was actually very, very good. The audiobook was definitely where the magic was because you got to hear everybody. It was full cast, it was different voices, it was brilliant. And then I read Archive of Unknown Universes by Ruben Reyes Jr. I only gave that one 3.5 stars. It was a little tedious, to be perfectly honest with you. I didn't love it. I didn't hate it. I just didn't love it. These Memories Do Not Belong to Us by Yiming Ma. And oh my God, so people were raving about this book on Bookstagram. Okay, absolutely freaking raving. And I couldn't tell you what happened in the first half of the book because literally it didn't feel like anything was going on. It was a little monotonous. It was a little monotone, I guess is the right word for the book. But I gave it 3.5 stars. It was good writing. I think that they could have done a lot more with it and they didn't. The Poison Paradox by Hadley Field and Felix Green. My God, if you love House on the Cerulean Sea, you have to read this book. Now, I'm fairly certain this book came out in 2023. I think that's what the audiobook said. But for some reason, it was a NetGalley ARC audio version. So I don't know if it was a book that was released in 2023. They've only just done an audiobook version for it, but it was brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. It was cozy fantasy. I loved every freaking second of it. I gave that one 5 stars. The Friends to Lovers Project. You know what? This book was really dumb. I'm not even joking. Like, I can't even remember the author's name. It was that dumb. And I don't go on like a couple's holiday to Italy and they get dumped. And so they're there together, but they've been friends for a long time. They decide to try and force their friendship into like a friends to lovers scenario in Italy because it's romantic. And it fell so flat for me. So flat. I gave it 3 stars. I wouldn't even bother with it if I were you. Like, I think I was being generous with the 3 stars. Because the audio was okay. And then I did I Can't Even by Jen McKinley, and I gave that one 4 stars. It was good. It was good. Like, if you like books where you've got a mother that traumatizes one of her kids, that's a really good book. Okay, and as you know, it is publication day as it's Tuesday. I wonder what we can find in the wild today. A Frozen Par by Piper CJ, and that one is a romantasy. I am dying to read this book. All I have seen is people raving about it on Bookstagram, and I'm fairly certain that the publisher only has an influence team in the USA. So it couldn't even get on there if I tried. The next one is A Lady's Dangerous Secret by Hazel Haas, and that one is a historical romance with some mystery built in. This next one I thought it was really good. Lots of people didn't love it as much as I did, and it's A Mother's Guide to the Apocalypse by Holly Overton. That one is like I won't call it a dystopian because it really didn't feel like that, but it was like a literary fiction thriller, I guess is the right way to put it. I enjoyed the crap out of it. I thought it was great. But I also did the audio version and was reading it. They sent me a paperback copy of it months ago. And so I kind of did a tandem reading of the pair. And I actually thought it was good. Circle of Strangers by Minka Kent. And that one is a psychological thriller. And oh my God, this is a second book in a series. The first book was absolutely brilliant. Like, I had no idea what the hell was going on. And this is like the continuation of the book. And in the first book, you find out that she is a sociopath, but she's dealing with stuff that's happening to her. And this is the second book where they've moved away from all the things that happened to her husband and their kids. And yeah, it blew my mind. And it's left open for another book. So I am fully excited to get the next copy of that one. But I'm guessing it won't be till next year because I read the first book in that series this time last year. Endless Anger by Sav R. Miller. And that one is a romantasy as well. I think there's lots of romantasies coming out today because Fairy Tale by Veronica Lancet is also a paranormal romantasy. So, and that one's out today. Crazy, right? And then we have Fall I Want by Lyra Parrish, and that one looks like a small town romance, already moving into fall vibes. We didn't even get a bloody summer here, and we're already moving into fall vibes. Great. Game Changer by Deanna Faison. And that one is a coming of age novel. Now, this is book 2 in a series, but it's different set of characters, so you can read them as standalones. I actually really enjoyed it myself. I finished it a couple weeks back. Hemlock and Silver by T. Kingfisher, and that one is a fantasy book. Have the audio version ready to go, but I'm so far behind. I'm probably about a week behind release days on audios right now, which is freaking bad. It's so bad. Don't, if you ever decide to do the reviewing thing, do not overload yourself like I do, because it's absolutely ridiculous and you'll never catch up again. Okay, so as you can see, I already bought up Book Sirens on the screen. It's above for me. I don't know where they're going to place it for you, because it's been a while since I've done one of these. Now, you might be wondering what Book Sirens is. Well, it's basically NetGalley. So what happens is authors, publishers, PR teams will upload books for authors onto the website and then have readers like you sign up and request ARC copies of their books. Now, you can literally go through and browse via genre, anything like that. I think they even had, if I remember rightly, I think they even had ones that like new one with like longer dates and stuff like that. We're going to have a look properly in a second, but you might be wondering what the difference is between Book Sirens and NetGalley. Well, NetGalley tends to be more about publishers using the platform to add books for their authors. Like, you will find independent authors on NetGalley as well, but it's rarer because NetGalley is a little bit more expensive. And I find with NetGalley that you have to really already have a platform, a pretty big platform. And when you request books, to begin with, you're going to get turned down a lot, because what they like is to see some reviews under your belt. They like to see how you review, what kind of books you review. Because obviously, if you're the kind of person who reads a lot of romance and then you request a horror book, you might be declined because they've got no proof that you're going to enjoy the book. So that I see that a lot. Now, Book Sirens it's different because you're going to find a lot more independent authors on there. They also use Goodreads as their guide for how you review. I'm not entirely sure whether or not NetGalley actually does that, or whether it's just the information they glean from your accounts as and when you request books and review books. But Book Sirens literally takes all your social medias into account. So when I signed up, I had to put in all my social medias. It went and correlated how many followers I have total. And then I had to pick what kind of books I enjoyed. So I picked all the genres I liked. And then it all comes up with, it correlates out to what kind of a reviewer I am, what kind of books do I enjoy, like what books have I liked in the past, stuff like that. So that when authors, because authors can now cold call you. With NetGalley, they send you widgets. They go, hey, I think you might like this book, and they send you a link to the book directly. Whereas Book Sirens, the author will send you an email, or as in the case with the book I just got, they hit me up on Facebook. Now, what I really enjoy about NetGalley is you request the book, they say yes, it goes to your shelf, and you send it to whatever device you want to. Book Sirens is a little different, because what they made me do was I had to request the book. I was gifted the book, so it was sent to my email. I don't remember if it came up in Book Sirens. I think it literally just went, I got an email stating, hey, congratulations, you've been accepted to do this book. And then I had to email the email they sent me with the book in it to my Kindle, whereas NetGalley sends it directly to my Kindle, or however way I pick. Now you can get a PDF version. But I thought that was a little extra step that was kind of a pain in the ass, if I'm completely honest with you. But I got it onto my Kindle just fine. It didn't take very long at all. I just had to wait for the email and then forward it to my Kindle. So just make sure that if you're forwarding it to your Kindle, you know what your Kindle address is, which you can find on your Amazon. But like I said, you can also download it as a PDF. It's really not a big deal. So what I thought we would do is just take a look at the website, because in all honesty, I actually haven't spent a lot of time going through this. So this is me. I'm logged in. I've already filled in all my deets. It's really easy. It's just like your name, email address, what books you like. It was super simple. Okay. And then they had me do things like they made me sign into Goodreads. So let's start by going to start reading. So these are the books that have been recommended as advanced reader copies to me. This is based on my criteria. Like, I don't know if you can see down the side over here, it says get the perfect read. So now I can sort. I can do either by recommended for you, so for me, what they think I would like, or newly added. This is better if you need a long time to read and review, because they give you 30 days. But if you need a little longer, it's better to get ones that you're not going to miss the publication date for. I think that's better. And then we have ones here, I just filter all of them. Will be published in the future, published in the last 90 days, or published in 90 plus days. Because I don't care. I'm not looking for books because I want to read them for everybody else. I'm looking for books that I'm going to enjoy. Now, you get to pick where you're going to post your reviews. Now, Amazon and Goodreads is pretty much standard. If I remember, I might do BookBub, Barnes & Nobles, Kobo, Google Play, Apple Books, I might do that. Then you get to pick your page length, okay? So let's say you're just looking to fill in some gaps in your reading. Maybe you've got a reading goal and you're 6 books away from that and you know you're not going to be able to read a lot of big books. So you can put in there less than 100 pages, 1 to 200, 2 to 3, or more than 300. Now, I don't really care about book length. That doesn't bother me in the slightest. One thing you will notice on Book Sirens, though, is that more often than not, there's a lot of people that will publish series on there. So you're going to find, like I went to pick a book yesterday because I was kind of in the mood for it. After I got this one, I was kind of in the mood to find some more indie authors. And one of the books that I really liked was part of a series. And I'm like, well, there's no access to getting the series from them. Now, I probably could have emailed them. Maybe let's have a look at that. Let's see whether or not you can contact these authors. Well, I can follow them. So this is Deep Waters. I could follow them. I can request it. I can read an excerpt. It tells me what genres they are over here. Horror, thriller, supernatural, suspense. Click to see what kind of ending it is. Not part of a series. This is really handy. Make sure you check that because I very nearly requested a book as part of a series. And I'm like, holy mackerel. Not going to be doing that. And then it tells you how many reader spots are left. Yeah, and they've got 16 still available. It tells you the page length, the publication date, what formats it comes in. These are all really handy things to look at because if you want it somewhere and that format's not available, you're going to request the book and now you can't read it. That really sucks for you and the author. They're going to give you 30 days to read it. So that's kind of handy. Okay, so it doesn't look like you can get hold of the author. Now let's have a look and see if... No, you can only follow. So it's not like I could have even have requested other copies of their original books. Now, what happens is I get emails from Book Sirens every single week and it tells me, hey, there's new copies of books for you to have a look at. Click on the email and then it'll give me like a little snapshot of the kind of books that are available for me that I might like. And believe it or not, there's so many amazing books on here. The only times I've ever really used it in the past is when I've joined street teams and this is how they send the book because they need somewhere to funnel the books out. Now, a lot of them use Book Funnel, but if you're already on here, this makes sense because why would you pay for 2 different services? Now, as you can see, there's so many books on here. And I have my parameters fairly tight. Like I only guarantee I'm going to post on Amazon and Goodreads because I might forget. And I'd really hate to do that to an author because that would really freaking suck. But there are so many books here. So many books. Like, ooh, look at this one. The Curse Between Us, Mortal Magic. Ooh, look at that. Supernatural horror debut. Now, this is something I was looking at is maybe I should start looking for debut authors on here because I'd like to start interviewing authors on the show. And this might be a good way to see if they would come on because obviously they're looking for exposure of some description, right? So this one is, they want Goodreads, Amazon, Barnes & Nobles. It's the first in a series. Can tell me what kind of triggers there are. Like, I think this is really good. Oh, occult fiction. You know what? This is what I'm going to show you now, okay? So I'm going to show you, click Get Book. Okay, so this is the first book in a series. It's going to tell you all the questions and answers stuff, right? I'll try my best to finish the book in 90 days. So this author gives 90 days, which is very handy. I would do my best to help Omar by writing an honest review on Goodreads, Amazon, or Barnes & Nobles, at least one. If you rate this book 3 stars, a review on those sites is optional. I will not share the watermark review copy with anyone else. And I think that's pretty standard. If you get sent an ARC book, a digital one, you shouldn't be sharing it. Not without the author's permission. And then 9 times out of 10, I think you're going to find that they are going to want to send the book directly themselves so they know how many copies have been sent out. And then they're going to make me agree to the rules, right? I agree to the rules. I understand this is the first book in a series and I will post my review. Now, which format do I prefer? Now, EPUB is where it will get sent to my Kindle, so I'm going to keep that up there. Mobi is only for Kindle e-readers in the app. Now, I always go EPUB because it's easier. Now, if you don't have that, you can always do a PDF, which is best for a computer or iPad, because PDFs you can do in Apple Books. Okay. And then how would I like to receive the file? Now you can do a direct download, which is the best one if you're doing a PDF or you're going to be reading it on your computer or the device you're currently on. But I'm not doing that because I'm on my computer showing you guys how to do it. So I'm going to send it to my Kindle. And this is where your Kindle address would already be. So then it tells you down the bottom, and this is what I was trying to explain to you. It says, remember to add the Booksirens designs to your Kindle approved email list so you can deliver to the book to your Kindle. So like I said, they're going to send me an email stating, hey, congratulations, you've received this book. Now I kind of get the feeling this one is not a request one. This is just, it's going to give me the book. Oh, here's my Kindle email. Okay. So it says, check your email for the booksirensdesigns.com for the Kindle version, and then I have to forward it to my Kindle. If it doesn't show up within 10 minutes, email. So this has only happened to me twice now where I've had to do it this way. But both times they showed up just fine. So I had no problem. Like I said, like I got the book. It's all good. So he wasn't asking people to request a copy. He just let me have the book, which I guess is kind of nice. And I get 90 days, so I haven't just overshot myself there. But as you can see, it's really simplistic to use. St. Martin's Press is probably not on here. I don't think I've seen any of the books that I see on NetGalley on here. But it's a really good way to get you used to reading and reviewing because they give you clear definitions of how long you have to read and review the book by, which I really, really like. Now, Book Sirens is really good at making it so you can be matched specifically with the books that in the past you have enjoyed. So I really enjoyed that too. So based on what Goodreads says about me, all the books you saw listed, like all of them that you saw listed, they're all books that I would enjoy. As far as Goodreads goes, like these are all books that I enjoy. Now, obviously, I haven't read a lot of horror lately, but there's a lot of horror in here. And somebody else said that most of the best horrors I've ever read have come from Book Sirens. So I'm excited to see how this turns out. I think I'm going to make more of an effort to find some more debut authors this way. Now, it's like I said, it's really easy to make a profile. I'm not going to show you how to do it because all you have to do when you sign up, it's so simple. It's like your name, your email address, where you plan on reviewing, your socials, that kind of stuff. And as long as you have a Goodreads, I think you're going to be just fine. And if you don't have a Goodreads, you should probably sign up for one. It's really simple. The other thing that I really like is reader rankings. So Book Sirens, when they take all your data from Goodreads, shows you your insights of what you're like as a reader. And I'm going to see if I can bring that up now because I'm not entirely sure where that is, because I was only really thinking about showing you guys how to get books today. Okay, come on, all the way to the top. Okay, so let's see. Okay, my reviewer profile. So, here we go. So it's reader ranks. So it's going to tell you that I have rated 757 books, that I have reviewed 513 of those books, meaning that I didn't just leave a star rating, I actually wrote a proper review. It says August 12th was the last time I added a Goodreads review. It's not true. I did 2 yesterday, but this takes a while to update. It takes 7 days. So that's something that I wish it refreshed a little quicker, but it really doesn't. My average rating is 4.3 stars. Yes, I'm not going to lie, I am more lenient with my reviewing because I really feel like unless a book is terrible, that I tend to be more favorable. Did I enjoy it? Yeah, of course I did. Was there glaring problems? No. Why would I rate something 3.5 stars? You know, maybe it wasn't brilliant. I don't know. I'm a nice person. What can I say? Now, my reviews have helped 684 readers make decisions for themselves. Then it says I am in the top 1% of readers helped, top 1% based on reading volume, and top 1% in books from the top 5 publications, so publication presses. So as you can see, I'm a bit of a reader. What does it say about me here? So I've read over 179,000 pages with an average rating of 4.3. 29 of those books were rated and reviewed in the last 3 months. Like I said, the stats are not completely correct, but that's okay. I'm in the top 1% of reviewers on Book Sirens based on my volume. As you can see, I'm really freaking lenient compared to other reviewers. This is probably why I get so many emails because, yeah, I tend to rate higher than most people. It tells you what kind of books I read. So I read mostly books from the top 5 presses. I do read them from small presses, large presses, and self-published. Again, I'm in the top 1% for that. I tend to write books from smaller presses to highest on average. Yeah, that's probably true because I feel like if you're with a publisher, your book should be a little better because somebody is keeping a very close eye on you. I tend to review early. When you see my ones that say like before, 1 month after, they tend to be books that have already been released. If I have a review of a book that I'm doing and I get it before release date, I always attempt to review before it's published. So I am pretty consistent that way. I think this is hilarious. Like most read decades, like how many people have got their reading go back further than that, being that Goodreads wasn't around then? It just seems like a really weird thing to have. So I review books from 32 pages to 1,000. Like I don't care about the length and I don't care about the popularity. So this tells all the authors out there that I'm not going to say no to your book based on any kind of criteria. Like there's not something that they can judge about what kind of a reader I am based on these stats. So they know that I will give any length book a shot, any kind of book a shot, and any genre a shot. So that is probably one of the reasons why this happens to me. Now, there is one thing that you can do on Book Sirens that NetGalley you can't. Your policy for compensation. Now, I always do my reviews for free. I do not like to feel pressured that if somebody has paid me to give their book a review, that now I have to rate it higher, because I don't agree with that. I really don't. So now you can. Absolutely, you can be paid for your reviews, because you are basically, it's your time and you should be compensated if that's how you feel about it. But I, as a person, do not feel that way. So I do not charge for reviews, which is probably another reason why I get so many cold calls in a day. Now, I post my reviews on Amazon, Goodreads, on my blog. That's www.thelionessofliteracy.com. On Facebook, because I have a Facebook page, my Instagram. I do not post on Twitter because Twitter does not exist, and my X account has 1 follower, so I don't do it there either. But I do post on TikTok. Now, I listed all of my genre preferences up here, which is a lot, obviously. And I accept EPUB, PDF, paperback, and hardcover. I have never once been offered a book off of here in a paperback or hardcover. But that is actually, well, I won't say it's a lie, but somebody did message me asking me if I would review their book. And I said, I'm only accepting paperbacks right now. That was last year. And she did send me a copy of her book by paperback. Not all of them are going to do this, because as far as authors go, okay, especially if they're self-published, they're not making a lot of money off of their books. They maybe make minimum wage. If they're lucky, they maybe make 10 grand a year, okay? So sending you guys a printed copy of a book is pricey. Like, I think that I read on Amazon, it costs anywhere from $3 to $7 for Amazon to print the book. That's the cost of it for the author. So they're not making any money off that, but it's already cost them $7. Well, what if they send it to me and I don't review it? That's $7 I've just wasted, plus shipping. So I can understand why a lot of authors do not do this. Now, I always make the decision that if I've requested a book and they're sending me a hardcover, that at the very least they will get a book mail post. And if I didn't like it, then I'll just do a book feature. I won't review it. I won't give it a star rating, but I will just chat about what the book's about in my own words. Honestly, if you're looking at moving into the world of book reviews or book influencing, Book Sirens is a really good place to start, because it's really simple to use. The interface is really clean. It's really simple. And if you email them because you're having problems, someone will email you back almost right away. Because when I was getting my social medias uploaded on here, it wasn't registering just how many followers that I had correctly. And I emailed them and said, hey, this is not updating. And they updated it for me in a snap, okay? It was done within a couple of hours. So there's already somebody available to talk to and to help. So if you're looking at helping out some independent authors, I really feel like this should be a site that you should definitely be using. I wished that I hadn't moved so far away from it, because I signed up when I was doing, I think it was Katie and Bray PA. I was doing their book tours, and they used BookFunnel and they used Book Sirens. So I signed up then, and some of the books came from, like, I think I did 4 tours with them in all, and I think 2 were for Book Sirens and 2 were for BookFunnel. I think it was up to the author which way they preferred to do it. But I made the mistake of not keeping an eye on it and concentrating solely on NetGalley, and I really feel like I did myself a disservice. So I'm hoping that this year, once I've cleared off all my NetGalley arcs, I'm going to be a little bit more choosy in the things that I accept, because even with just accepting widgets this year and my St. Martin's Press influencer program, I didn't pick very many books for them either. I was very, very choosy. I'm still really overrun. Like, I just hit my 1,002 approved books from NetGalley, and I have like 150 to read and review. So I think I can potentially get really close to clearing all of that this year and really concentrate on some more independent authors, some debut novels. I'm really excited because I'm helping other people realize their dreams in a tangible way. Like, publishers don't need me to sell their books. They really don't. They've got hundreds of other influencers already doing that. And people already trust them. So they're already buying the books and they get such big budgets. So I really feel like 2026 is going to be more independent authors, more debut authors, more stuff that maybe you wouldn't see in the mainstream. And I'm hoping that I can connect with some of these authors and get them on the show because that would be really cool. I'm really excited to do an author interview. I'm ready. I'm ready. So if you are an indie author and maybe you want to come on the show and talk to me, you don't have to send me your book. I don't have to read your book. I think I could probably get enough from what you're up to and talking to you to be able to make a really exciting show. But honestly, I would actually prefer to read and review your book as well and then have you on the show and then I can talk about your book. So send me an email, adulteress@gmail.com. I really hope that you've enjoyed this episode and I hope that maybe you give Book Sirens a go because I really feel like more people should know about this, especially people just starting out. So let me know in the comments if you're planning on signing up and let me know what the first book is that you picked to request or to review. If you've liked this episode, give me a subscribe on youtube.com/@ladulteress. I really appreciate all the follows and whatnot and all the likes on the videos. It's hard to build momentum when people are not interacting and engaging with the videos. So I'd really appreciate a thumbs up. You can always find me on Facebook @ladulteress. You can always find me on TikTok @ladulteress. You can find me on Instagram @ladulteress4. Don't forget, I have a book merch store where you can find me. That's the Booksirens Designs. I'm on Etsy. I have a Facebook page. I have an Instagram page. I have a TikTok. And I have a website, booksirensdesigns.com. Don't forget, I do the Toppling TBR with Hannah. So you can find me on Spotify, Ladulteress. You can find me Ladulteress, Spotify, the Toppling TBR on Spotify, and the same on YouTube for the Toppling TBR. Anywhere you can find me, just give me a follow, a comment, a like, something to let me know that you're appreciating what I do. I hope you have the reading week you deserve, guys, and I will see you hopefully on Friday when I do my very first conspiracy theory with Stacey. Have a great rest of your week, guys. Take care.